These police officers know that if they take me down, if this agreement goes through, their children would not be able to afford to go to college. They will become slave holders to their students.
They're talking about taser and pepper spray to get her down. That's what their plan is. They're saying we're on private property, but of course they're doing public business on private property, so the only place for us to protest is on private property. So that's why we're here, and we're doing this because this is a global corporate coup.
About 27 miles away from here, secret negotiations are ongoing, and no members of Congress, a number of us have asked to be allowed to observe the negotiations because they'll have a dramatic impact on the future of the United States of America and our economy, but no member of Congress has been allowed into these negotiations. This is over something called the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
From the very beginning of the Trans-Pacific Partnership negotiations and from the very beginning of the Obama administration, the President has been very aware that it was time to do trade policy differently in this country. And one of the things that we needed to do differently was make sure that more voices were heard in the crafting of American trade policy. It was time to craft trade policy that was more responsible and more responsive to the concerns of Americans who really weren't that sure about whether or not trade was a good thing, not only for our country, but for people around the world.
What meeting is going on here is the Trans-Pacific Partnership. This is the largest trade agreement in U.S. history. We're calling it a global corporate coup.
If you are standing with the American people, then you should stand with us. Not with Cargill, not with Monsanto, not with DuPont.
Not with Big Pharma.
We're blocking the road to stop the TPP corporate dictatorship from taking over the world's economy and governments, overpowering democratic will of the people. We're here to stand for the 99% of people of this country and the world against the corporate dictatorship. A small elite of 1%ers who want to run everything, who want to own everything, and ruin the economy, ruin our health, ruin our jobs, and we won't stand for it.
We have worked to demonstrate that more people should get a seat at the table, more people's voices should be heard, and our trade policy should be reflective of a broader swath of American opinion, while it still achieves the objective we're working to achieve in trade policy, and that is to craft policy that opens markets around the world and helps American businesses support sorely needed jobs here at home. We believe that can be done in a manner that is reflective of American values.
We know very little about what's being negotiated because, again, the documents are all kept secret from members of Congress. They have been shared, however, with 600 corporations who, at the click of a mouse, can access them through a secure site online. But yet, no member of Congress is allowed to see these documents, no one representing the American people.
Our coalition first published some of the leaked texts of the TPP, and what it shows is the U.S. pushing for extreme big pharma drug patents, which would extend the length of drug monopoly patents, which would jack up healthcare costs here in the United States and be a literal death sentence for people with AIDS, tuberculosis, other treatable disease in poorer countries. That alone is reason to oppose the TPP, but there's about 29 separate chapters covering everything from banking regulations to food safety standards to government procurement. And if there's only big corporations who have access to the text and the negotiators, or the preponderance of groups or big corporations, we expect this to be another backroom deal for the 1%, and so they have to open it up or shut it down.
Well, we don't comment on documents that purport to be leaked texts from a trade agreement.
You understand that sometimes people got to make these choices. Otherwise,
well, you got to
nothing
understand
changes.
that we have to do what we're paid to do.
I know that.
We're going to do that here in about 5 minutes.
I'm going to check in with Kevin.
Someday you guys are not going to do what you're going to do. Because you're protecting the 1%.
They're doing it lawfully.
Yeah, I know.
You want to do it lawfully? You can do that lawfully. It's
Hitler did everything he did lawfully.
Well,
they made it legal.
One hand right here. Just going to stand up. And find your back home. 74. Well, I thought you were about 23. Okay, anybody who wants these, the balloons, to cut a balloon, take a big balloon home with you, you're welcome to do that as well. Does anybody want that?
Yeah, someone wants to know what this is all about.
Are you with an NGO?
Yes.
And so is your NGO feeling that what is your NGO, does your NGO have a specific position on these sorts of trade agreements?
Yeah, we have a lot of concerns about the TPP and the effect on Malaysians. That's why I'm here.
Yes.
So everything from the higher medicine prices because of the stronger intellectual property provisions proposed by the US.
And I mean, would be concerned about that for anything, but in particular for the AIDS epidemic, and I know that that's rolling into Asia as well, right?
And I mean, Malaysia is a developing country, but Vietnam is an even poorer developing country. I think almost half the people are living on less than $2 a day. So how can they afford medicines at the patented price of $15,000 per patient per year? These trade agreements are a disaster, honestly, I think. And the US proposal is asking for longer patents, stronger patents, more patents, monopoly even when there's no patents. So it's really difficult for developing countries. I mean, it's hard for people to afford medicines in America, but it's even harder in Vietnam and Malaysia.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
And do you have any ability to negotiate with them, or are they just telling you what to think?
Well, the official stakeholder engagement was we got a briefing by the chief negotiators, we were allowed to make a 10-minute presentation, and we could have a table where they could collect our materials. So we certainly can't go into the negotiations, we don't see the text unless it's leaked. And unless you see the text, it's very hard to make any constructive comments because you don't know what it's about.
The draft text of the agreement are not public in order to make certain that negotiators in the room have the ability to have frank conversations and have a negotiation, to preserve the ability of negotiators to have a real conversation that leads us to an agreement at the end of the day.
Now, this is really an extraordinary thing, that this is being done in secret. No member of Congress is allowed to review it. It has one chapter we know about, which is so egregious, which gives corporations the power to challenge in foreign tribunals, not U.S. courts, our domestic laws that protect consumers and the environment. We would now give this authority to corporations, if China accesses to this, that are run by the Communist government of China, because they own many of the corporations in their country. The People's Liberation Army owns those corporations.
There's a designated free speech zone. We cordoned it off this weekend, and you can go back over there and you can.
We have the First Amendment gives us the right to free speech
right there where the
and to peaceably assemble to redress the government for our
free speech zone. We set that up for you.
We are at this point
So if you want to protest, you can go right to the free speech zone.
There is no such thing as a free speech zone.
No, I work for the hotel.
Check it out. It's a free speech zone. If we are in the United States, we have free speech.
What is this? They're having a big meeting across the street on trade agreement people have been excluded from. These people are trying, they meet very quietly, so these people are drawing attention to it. Had they not put up this balloon, I guess you might not have known.
Yeah. We were wondering, we live here. We were wondering what this is all about.
Because we have over 600 corporate advisors that have access to the negotiating text, while members of Congress, journalists, and we do not have access to this. From leaked text, we know that they're going to undermine our consumer and environmental laws by continuing to put investor state policies into these trade agreements. They're going to restrict access to medicines by extending patents on generic drugs that are used for programs like PEPFAR, the President's Emergency Plan for AIDS Relief, which not only funds HIV and AIDS, but also tuberculosis and malaria and other life-saving drugs. Poor people no longer have access. It also affects our formulary system with Medicare and Medicaid, and at this point in time, we have no access to that tax. So what we are doing today is demanding transparency and also demanding either a new trade framework or no deal.
It's also important to note that any member of Congress, any senator, can see the text of U.S. negotiating proposals upon request.
I guess this has been a concern for different Congress people. Have many of them come forward to look at these drafts?
We are not aware of any outstanding request at the moment for members to see texts.
This is extraordinary. 600 corporations have access to this document, but no member of Congress has access to this document.
I'm standing here because I believe in this country. I believe in the country that in the people that live here. And nobody else is standing up to these corporate lawyers. Somebody has to. And I'm willing to do that and put my body on the line. Even though I have 3 children, I'm standing up here
They say no
against
deal.
the criminals.
They say no deal. These guys say no deal.
Somebody has to take a stand.
You want to talk her down and you want to go with your colleagues over there, you're welcome to do that.
Because the media is hiding it.
Okay, well, I'm in charge of that. You can go over here with them if you can clear the road. Clear the property.
Own the media outlets.
Okay, we talked to her. So if we want, I mean, they're getting by yet. So if we talk you down now, and move over there. The boss says they're not going to arrest you.
Right now.
Dick has already been arrested.
I know. We can deal with Dick.
I don't want Dick to be arrested.
Well, we'll take care of it.
I don't think that's fair. I came here to stand on the side of the people.
So she wants Dick's charges dropped too.
I'm not going to let Dick be
Whose
arrested.
charges?
I'm not
The
going
guy
to
who's pulled up over here.
He's going to jail.
Well, I'm asking you. That's what she's not going to come down unless he gets. He's in jail now, obviously, so he's getting.
Well, when she comes down, we can talk about that. Till she comes down, we're not talking
I'm
about
not
anything.
making any deals because I don't believe in backroom deals. I believe things need to be upfront and transparent.
He hasn't
I'm not
gone
coming
anywhere.
down.
Have you seen him going to jail?
Well, I saw him get picked up.
Okay.
We had to remove him from the roadway.
Okay.
So he's not arrested.
Margaret,
He's being detained.
I
That's cool. Sounds like a possibility we could get Dick off too if we get you down.
But if I get down and they don't let Dick off, then I'm not standing in solidarity with Dick. I'm not coming down until Dick is off. Until
He
I
hasn't gone to jail. He's still here.
He's still here.
Then if I see him walking
He's not
up to
arrested
his
yet. He's
car
not arrested
and his
yet.
handcuffs are off, I will
We're not
come
going to
in.
start another one where he's now wandering around as well. Once this property is cleared and everybody is leaving, he can leave with you.
Okay, that's it. That's it. Okay. Okay.
We don't need to be done. You just need to be off the property.
I got you. Okay. All right. You're gonna let Dick out now, right?
I wouldn't come down until they come. All right, thank you, officer.
Let's put it back on.
You understand
Car's
I'm
right
doing
across
this
the
for you
street.
and for your family. They created their own special court. They're giving corporations the right to sue countries. And these corporate tribunal courts, the judges are corporate lawyers. So already we know that in 90% of cases, these types of courts side with the corporation and not with the government. So they can sue for things like, if an environmental law is hurting their profit, they can sue the country over that law.
Driven by big business to continue maximizing the profits without consideration for other things like
Absolutely.
labor.
We're considered a global corporate coup. It basically is giving corporations more power than individual nations.
I live for America, I work for America, and I love this country, and I can't stand socialism, I can't stand communism. The only good communist is a dead communist. Say anything more? Thank you, sir. The only good communist is a dead U.S. Army. Do not do this for her. Please do not do this for her. Don't.